Hi friends, welcome to Organic True Crime with Sydney Hopes, where I talk about interesting true crime stories. This month I've been focusing on bootleggers, and today I'm going to be telling two stories about a couple of female bootleggers. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of information on a lot of female bootleggers, so that's why I decided to combine these two. But today's video is going to be about Willie Carter Sharpe and Birdie Brown. So Willie Carter Sharpe, she was born in 1903 in Virginia, and there's really not a whole lot of information about her early life or her childhood other than the fact that her father's name was James Collins. So there you go. But in 1920, Willie married a man named John Floyd Carter, and he was the son of a bootlegger. This was during Prohibition when the production and sale of alcohol was illegal. So people called bootleggers would illegally sell alcohol anyway. And I believe that this is where Willie got her introduction into the bootlegging world. So Willie Carter Sharpe, everyone says her name like that. It's always Willie Carter Sharpe. I feel like I have to. Anyway, she was known for her excellent driving skills. She was really good at maneuvering dark mountain roads in Virginia, which was necessary because they were moving illegal things, so it needed to be done at night a lot and discreetly or really well and fast. So between 1921 and 1932, Willie Carter Sharpe was a rum runner, which meant she was transporting moonshine, and it was thought that she moved about 200,000 gallons of moonshine during those 11 years. I can do math quickly. She was also known for driving a block car. Now, a block car was basically just like a decoy car. They would drive around all sketchy like and get the police to chase them, thinking that they were transporting moonshine. And then while the police were busy chasing them, the actual people transporting moonshine would go right on by. And she was really good at what she did and good at getting away most of the time. But she was still arrested 13 times between the years of 1926 and 1932. So in 1929, Willie and her husband, he goes by Floyd Carter, got a divorce, but she still continued working in the moonshining business. And then in 1932, she was arrested for violating prohibition laws. And during this trial, attention was brought to the fact that she had diamond fillings. She had actual diamonds set into her teeth, which just amazed me in the 1920s. How? Who did that? I have so many questions. But anyway, she was sentenced to 3 years at the Alderson Reformatory for Women, and it kind of just made her more popular because now she had done time for being a moonshiner, and she was released after her 3 years. In 1935, the federal government launched an investigation into Virginia's moonshine business. At this point, Prohibition was over, but they were for serious about making people take responsibility for what they had done during the period of Prohibition because it was illegal at the time. So, this was called the Great Moonshine Conspiracy, and it ended up being a trial of 31 men and women, including local police and government in Virginia. So that's great. That was why the federal government had to get involved, because at this point, during Prohibition, most places were basically being run by people that were selling and making moonshine, and they were bribing local government and local police so they could continue to do so. So now the federal government is putting their foot down. Willie Carter Sharpe was arrested and used as a witness. She was offered full immunity if she would act as a witness in the trial, because I guess she was a driver and she had also already done time for this, and they were more focused on getting the higher ups and the people leading everything and the politicians that were involved. Yeah. So she did. She acted as a witness in the trial, and I think almost all of the 31 people, I can't remember the exact number, but it was almost all of them, were convicted and sentenced to jail. So she was not very popular after that in their area after being a witness, understandably so. So she got out of town pretty fast. And that's kind of all we know. We don't know how she died or what happened after that, and I'm really quite curious, Did she leave? Did she really get out of town real fast? I don't know. And that's Willie Carter Sharpe, one of the best rum runners during Prohibition. Now I'm going to tell you about the woman responsible for the best moonshine in the country, apparently, Birdie Brown. Dogs are getting into stuff. So Birdie Brown was an African-American woman born in the 1870s in Missouri. And again, there's really not a whole lot of information about her early life, but we do know that in 1907, she claimed 160 acres in Montana, and she had settled on the land by 1912. She had a very small farm and a little house. And a lot of people noticed because it was very rare at the time for a woman to be living by themselves and just like claiming land and doing their own thing without a man there to help. Anyway, Birdie was known as being really nice though and very hospitable, and she also made some really great moonshine apparently. And since moonshine was illegal, there was no like regulation on it. It was just random people in the woods brewing some moonshine, so it could be very unsafe. It was known to make people go blind or die, so it was good to have a place like Birdie's where they have this sweet lady who makes very trustworthy and apparently very good moonshine. People did still question Birdie and her cat on why they lived by themselves. So she claimed to be a widow and also sometimes would say that she was an abandoned woman, but we don't know that that's actually true. It's thought that that was just like an excuse that she made up so people wouldn't ask her why she was living by herself with her cat. Birdie and her moonshine eventually got pretty popular in the area in Montana, and that popularity caused authorities to notice, and they approached her, and in 1933, which was right towards the end of Prohibition, they approached her and just told her to stop. They basically just gave her a warning. And so it's thought that she planned to because she started a different dry cleaning business. And did you know that dry cleaning at that time, I don't know anything about dry cleaning now, but it involved the use of gasoline, apparently. So anyway, she starts this flammable dry cleaning business and but still brewed another batch of, is it brewing for moonshine? Still I don't know. She started another batch of moonshine, and people say that it was like her last batch. She was just getting rid of ingredients, but we don't know that. She could have just been like, all right, I'll start this business so it looks like I'm doing something, and I'm gonna keep making my moonshine because I like to. I don't know. We don't know. But it was her last batch of moonshine, unfortunately, because the mixture of the gasoline from the dry cleaning and the dangerous and very flammable and explosive moonshine making process, her still exploded while she was inside. And she lived just long enough to ask that her cat be taken care of, but unfortunately her cat was never found. But what was left of her home still stands in the area and can still be seen. It's very overgrown, and I mean, it's been there a long time, but it's still there basically. And people still today claim to see a black cat in the window of the old still site. I don't know. Cats are sketchy. You don't know. And that, friends, was Willie Carter Sharpe and Birdie Brown, two female moonshiners. Females involved in moonshining. Because one of them made moonshine, one of them transported it. Completely different states. I don't know. I thought it was interesting because you always hear about like Al Capone and the Bondurants and whatever, that were all men making and selling and transporting it and causing a big ruckus with their moonshine. But you don't hear about a lot of ladies doing it. Thought that would be fun. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I've got one more in this theme coming for you, and then it's February and just you wait. Anyway,